Okay. Well, hopefully the stream works. And hopefully I hit the right buttons this time. I think I did. We'll get started in just a second. Oh, me. I guess thank you for Steel Highways for letting me simulcast one of their streams earlier in the day. Yep, works. Good. I guess YouTube was having server issues earlier in the night. Maybe they still are. I don't know. All right. Well, let's get started here. Hello, Theodore. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Okay. Let's switch over to gaming window. And go over. I took a few pictures of things on the layout that need to be resolved. We found in the last operating session. I got a dog upstairs. One nuts. He's in the kennel. So, if you hear a dog barking in the background, that's why. Anyway, the super elevated curves, if you recall from... Yes, button has been pressed. I did it right this time. The super elevated curves, you recall from earlier that I was having issues with them and I ground them down to try and level them out. That has made it better, but hasn't solved anything. So, long story short, I just need to remove them and replace them with the appropriate sized curves of regular flat track. I've got the track. It won't be a hard fix to make. I just need to take an hour or so to do it. At least on the main line there that you see in the picture, there's two curves that need to be fixed. Or two pair of curves, I should say. Not a big deal. Also, there were some comments from the operators about this switch on one end of the siding. They weren't thrilled with it being hidden in the furnace room. The reason it's there is the scene that is outside in the other room is supposed to be single track, and I didn't want the switch to break the realism of that scene. But in the grand scheme of things, whatever's best to operate the railroad is probably what needs to take precedent. So I'm going to think about it, and I can either move the switch down a little bit to where it's just right up in front of you, just a couple feet down, where it runs right along the side, or I can cut the hole bigger and move it outside in the other room. Just so you can see the position of the switch clearly. My original idea was I was going to have switch position indicators for both switches on both sides. Hadn't done that yet, but that could still be one of the solutions. That's probably not something that'll get fixed anytime soon. Okay, number 4 switches is still probably the biggest issue. The issue with the number 4 switches is so if you look at the point rails, sometimes they can be very blunt and square, and that tends to give cars a tendency to pick the points, causing derailments. There was one fix that I tried early on, which was pull the rail out and then file inside here. So then the rail, that point sits embedded inside the rail, so it doesn't have a chance to pick. Same thing on this side. But for some reason, when I was doing it, I tended to have issues with those switches after I reworked them. So my solution, and why there is a little Dremel grinder there, is I just started grinding.
Back on 70, radio check.
Again. So I just started grinding right along that top edge to sharpen up that point. And then I could go a little bit in here, sharpen up that point. And I did that in Lockport Yard and had much better results. Probably 9 out of 10 cars didn't have an issue. I need to do that everywhere else, long story short. So, I got some grinding to do. Yeah, we had some clearance issues there again, which, yeah, it's a tight spot, and we were talking about it, and what I thought I could do is grab a piece of paper. Oh wait, I just flip this over and do it on this side. Okay. Okay, let me draw this out. So if you've never heard of spline roadbed is where you take masonite and then you cut it into, let's say, 1.5-inch strips. So then you have all these 1.5-inch strips, and then you just start buttoning them up, stacking them on top of each other. So you just have all these strips, 1/8-inch strips. Eventually you make something wide enough for roadbed, and then you can set your track on it. So the challenge that I was thinking of with this was, well, I could replace this section here and widen it, but what am I going to do about, oh, you can't see that, sorry. So I can replace the center section here, that's just a separate piece of wood. But what am I going to do about this area over here that I cut, and that area over there that I cut? That, there's no way I can fix that without replacing that whole section and that whole section. I don't want to have to do that. The plexiglass worked good. Yeah, it worked great. So what I thought of, since I already have the plexiglass here, what if I cut some spline roadbed strips that are 3 to 4 feet long, about 1 inch, 1.5 inches wide. I'll pull these little makeshift strips out, pull the plexiglass out, and then I'll do on my desk. Okay, so let's ignore this. Let's flip this over. So let's say here's the roadbed. Okay. So then I'm going to just say, all right, we're going to do the spline idea. And then somewhere in here, we'll have the plexiglass. I'll kind of do that as a wavy. And then I'll do one more long strip of masonite that hides all those other strips. So then that'll hide the rough edge of the plexiglass. There'll be another piece of masonite on the outside of it. And then I just sandwich all that together, screw it into the layout, just like it is here, and that'll give me enough width coming off of there to rebuild, to be able to put these tracks up and get rid of the clearance issues. I'll probably do that this weekend.
Yep, that's the only train called through that west end.
Okay. There's that. Okay, so this is remember I said the other week that I kept getting intermittent shorts on my command station and the command station, all it was powering was, can't see it because I'm on the wrong damn window. There you go. Sorry. Okay. So remember a week ago or two ago, I was talking about the command station kept shorting intermittent shorts, but all it was powering was a switch decoders. So it turns out that these DS74s, which are force switch machines, tend to not like to be powered by DCC power. The best option for those is to power them with the auxiliary wall wart power units. So I took 3 of them off of track power. I've got 2 more that are still on track power because I need to get more of these little adapters. And I loco netted them instead of getting their DCC signal off of track power, and that fixed everything. So we're good there. I can still use the command station power to do the Kato switch machine, or the Kato switch machines, DCC decoders for the switches, because those are individual switch decoders and they apparently absorb power differently and they're not a big deal. Okay. So we found a couple of dead spots. So the issue here was if you pull the train in on the siding, which this is the siding, and then you have both ends thrown back to the main, since everything's power routed, you don't have any power on the siding to do any switching. And I discovered this as I was trying to shove a train into the siding to clear to run another train by. We threw both switches back to the main, and then the train went dead. And I was like, well, that sucks, because I still need to move another ½ inch. So, since I've got this double switch here, I need to put a power feed there and a power feed on the opposite side. Not a big deal. Easy fix. Same thing here on this inside track. This is right up, actually above my head at the desk. We found a certain combination of switches that blocked what apparently was power routing to that track. So if this switch is lined into the yard, and then the switch on the opposite side's lined to the outer track right by the edge of the thing, but then the outer track is lined into the engine terminal, then that leaves no power routed to this section of track. So I need to put another feeder in. Easy peasy. Wait, what the hell's that for then? Oh, that's for the reversing loop. Never mind. I'm just looking up and I see a feeder coming down in that general vicinity. I thought that might have been this track, and it's not. Never mind. What else we got? Okay. Blueford 86-foot boxcars are not. I'm not a fan of the railroad. Minimum radiuses and number 4 switches, and yeah, so not good. I've got one here. I'm going to experiment with one of these a little bit and see if I can do anything to kind of redeem them and keep them on the railroad, but otherwise probably going to have to let them go or put them in the box and let them sit. Technically speaking, they're not really prototypical for the layout anyway. The facility that would take them usually takes 60-foot boxcars only, standard height and high cube. So these were a fill-in for a lack of 60-foot cars. And yeah, probably just not going to work out. Is that it, or did I have anything else? Nope, that was it. And then that's, oh, you didn't even see that last picture. Sorry. I'm bad at this. There we go. Those guys. I've got probably, yeah, I've got those three. I've got that one, so that's four. Three of those, and three of those. So that'd be 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them that may or may not end up going up to be sold eventually. These are the Bluefords. Tradeworks makes a similar car. That one definitely doesn't like my curve radiuses. So, mainline, they're not bad. I've been running them around the layout okay. It's just getting into the auto parts plant has been tricky. What I'm planning on trying to do with them is modeling. So I'm probably going to pull this whole coupler assembly out and then just body mount something, body mount a 1016 in there and just see if that behaves any better. The other thing I'm probably going to look at doing is maybe putting different wheel sets on it and then putting a washer underneath it to raise it up. Just so the clearance issues kind of get better. Actually, I'm just going to do the washer thing right now and just really changes anything. See if that's even going to.
All right, here we go back to Kia cut. Be
Grab some.
careful, possible slick rail.
I'm also finding that certain manufacturers' wheels like Kato track better than others, which is kind of understandable. Intermountain seems to be the least.
I guess we're going to start off that.
There's already a washer in there.
Plot that curve, see if it plots out, and we'll probably have to redo the whole mess again, the way it sounds.
We're not on that side.
I'll verify the wires are visible up there at the island, about 50 or 60 feet each way of the island, and we can go from there once we get there.
Okay, we'll look at it when we get down there.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Come on, where's the hole?
Hey, Pete, now I want the air conditioning.
I hear you.
All right. Next stream, I might bring the dog down with me and see how he does down here. Because Indy used to come down here with me all the time, and he was good. But the new dog, he can be kind of hit and miss on behavior. That truck just came off. Why are you all of a sudden just falling apart on me? Oh, come on. That's a, no, it's a microdream. Wires. I'm hoping to have a work session coming up first week or two of November to go around the layout and jot down all of the cars on the railroad. And then I can get all that data put into JMRI for operations. Didn't really change anything. All right, is my coupler thing here, or did I put that away somewhere? I put that away somewhere. Well, I can experiment with that one. And I'm gonna pull those shims out too. This is one of the ones that I put the wedges in to try and keep the coupler raised. But I think I'm gonna be better off just letting the coupler do what it wants to do and just raise the car up altogether. So
Eastbound on 2 to the bridge, over.
yeah, that makes it a lot more flexi-flex. That would help. I'd like to be able to get these cars to work because they look really nice. And they are very Conrail accurate. And there's nothing, nobody would come into the layout and say, oh, those cars shouldn't be at that industry. But and I'm sure they did show up from time to time. But
Maybe slowing down quite a bit for this crossing, Pete.
so I'm wondering if having those boxes be stiff, if that was what was leading to the car picking the points. Because as soon as that, if there was any tendency for that box to need to move and it didn't, then it's just going to put pressure on one side or the other of the car, where the flanges are probably going to be more likely to pick the rail. Pick that switch. And that's still low. And it'll do it, but not a fan. We'll try it. And then this Intermountain car, probably the cars that I've had the most issues with, other than the auto racks, have been Intermountain cars with Intermountain metal wheel sets.
Let me
So,
know when you're by 197, please.
I'm by 198.
simple solution there is just pull the damn wheel sets off and
Okay, I need
replace them with
197 when you can.
microtrains. So that's what I'm gonna do. You're surprised it worked. You're surprised what worked? What worked, Mike? No.
I'm by 197.
Wheel just went on the floor. I need to ask for a. Just. So I don't know if raising the trucks really made it go through the number 4. I mean, it was going through before. That specific car was. I think it's just multiples of them shoving through. Eventually, enough outward pressure is getting put on the car that it starts wanting to pick the switch. One probably isn't going to do it. No, I guess we'll find another one here. Without breaking anything. Dog. Is it even gonna take this?
Stack train with this relief crew. Looks like that kick northbound's coming through Hurdland now. That should be the first westbound
okay.
train we meet according to the tracker. Or eastbound train, I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe holler at that dispatcher and see where he wants to do the meet or something, because we won't know it's him till he's by.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping he would let me know. I'll give him a call.
Okay, sounds good.
Ooh, that's another problem right there I just found. Okay. And did I see the NS's 10,000, 1,000, excuse me. They've done 1,000 of those things. AC 44C. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'm sure it's got some cool paint scheme on it. So I just noticed that, let me see if I can zoom back in on this. So if there's any kind of play in here, it's creating, so if I'm riding along, with any kind of outward pressure, the first thing it's going to want to do is it's going to want to pick that switch. And it's going to be more so if it's truck mounted, because you've got the coupler potentially putting outward pressure on it. But let's say it's a body mounted car and it's relatively centered. It's going to roll through there. But then, oops. Next thing it could pick is right here when the throw rail comes back to the stock rail. If there's any kind of a rough spot there, it's also wanting to pick and derail and get caught. So that's another spot that I need to watch. And it's not an issue. I'm just sitting here running this thing through with outward pressure. That side it's okay. It's just this other side that it's... Well, I don't know. Probably sitting here and trying to bend
Train, I can't get my phone's got no service out here.
bend that up. I ain't gonna do anything. So probably the best bet is I just need to get in there and grind that inside rail there to... Yeah, it just keeps coming to a dead stop right there. Okay, good. Glad I found that. Where? There, so there's this. And then I need this washer. Not a big fan of intermountain cars anyway. Too much freaking detail. Fragile and just not a fan.
doing?
Hold on, Theodore. I'll check it out here in just a second.
We got dog catch crew for the Kick Northtown riding with us. Where do you want to try and make that meet, or? I think actually probably be just drop them off at that maintenance depot at Medill there. Okay, we will drop them there at Medill depot. Okay, understood. Thanks, over. You copy me, guys? Yes, sir, sure do. Go ahead, over.
By 195.
I think it's off of main one, so just when you get down there, pull down between the switches of that bearing, and let me know what you see down there, and we'll make the call if we're gonna be able to pick it up or not.
Didn't even roll. What the hell?
Thanks, over.
Okay. Well, we'll try him. Let's see here. Let's take a look at what he posted on the server. In general.
Alright, I took the app with do not go back past 197.
Oh, people are.
Copy that. Copy that.
What the? That's it. I'm assuming Root Rock posted those. I guess this is it. That's all they did was just 1,000th DC to AC. And then they put it on the hood for some reason, on the top. That's interesting. Well, I'm sure Scale Trains will model that pretty soon. All right. Well, I guess that's all I had prepared for tonight. So the dog's going crazy up there. I'm just gonna go upstairs, let him out. Everybody have a good night. Talk to you soon. Plan to be back Monday for sure, doing more JMRI stuff. All right. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.